I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Monday. Good afternoon and welcome. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by our friends at Happy State Bank. We're watchable on TV, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, 950 on your AM dial. However, wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you've decided to make us part of your Monday afternoon on this final day of June. Alongside the one and only Chris Snead. He's back, folks. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. Y'all can hit us up. Your thoughts, comments, questions, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Sitter chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app that you can carry anywhere with you, even listening out in Black Gum, Oklahoma, if you so choose. Ayo Sneeder.
What's up, y'all? What it do, y'all?
You refreshed?
Dude,
Get some mountain
nothing
air?
like some mountain air. It was good times. Got a little Colorado Springs, Canyon City.
It's good.
Red River, Ruidoso. Got to experience my first flash flood.
That's fun. Your first? You got
Yeah.
a flash Snead to really get his attention. That was well placed.
I was well placed. I didn't know.
So there's been it's summertime, so I won't say there's a lot of things happening, but there has been a decent amount of news since you've last been with us.
Spent a lot of time listening to you guys.
And so we'll chatter about a little bit of everything, some football news. Of course, Big 12 one quarterback lighter. And we've got no media poll. That's something of note that came out last week.
Chickens.
We're going to talk about chickens today. Do you have a favorite chicken?
The Rhode Island Red.
I wasn't specifically talking about a breed of chicken, but that's fine. I was going with more of...
the chickens from the Muppets.
Okay.
I don't know if they have a name.
What was the San Diego chicken?
I got to meet him, Ted Janulis. Got to meet him when I was the PA announcer for the...
Wait, his name is what?
Ted Janulis.
That's the chicken's name.
Yeah.
I thought he was just the San
famous
Diego
chicken. Yes. The San Diego chicken, which became the famous chicken.
Okay.
Once he and San Diego split ways, and he became the chicken. And he would tour the country, and he came to the Lubbock Crickets, and I was the PA announcer, and it was a show when he rolled in there. It was the whole script that you had to follow the script. When the chicken and Ted Janulis rolled into town, you had to follow his deal. And
okay.
It was a chicken script.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, and it was hard to make chicken salad out of that chicken script.
Nice. I think that was not as good as you gave him credit for.
I kind of laughed myself. I giggled myself a
You
little
did.
bit.
I'm saying Clint liked it too much. It's usually a harsher judge, but I think it's just pointed towards me. That's what I've learned.
It's the delivery, man.
I think my favorite chickens would be Foghorn Leghorn.
I said, son.
That's way up there. Hey,
What
from
a hand.
the Moana movie,
I forgot that. I didn't know what the chicken's name was.
right? Isn't that? I think it's what it's
I
called.
just said I don't know what the chicken's name was. Why are you confirming with me?
I'm just like, well, I'm saying right more like to the public. Like,
Oh.
Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
Honorable mention, Chanticleer from Rockadoodle.
Okay. Or Chanticleer from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, they actually named their school mascot after
Exactly.
Rockadoodle.
And how about Luther Heggs?
Luther Heggs?
Yeah. Mr. Chicken from the Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
What was the chicken's name in Robin Hood?
I don't.
Oh,
Is that Robin Hood Mid in Pants?
No, the rooster from. Oh gosh, dang it!
Basically worked as the narrator,
Oodalali.
saying some of the best
It's
songs.
Roger Miller's voice,
Right.
but I don't.
So I don't want to just call the chicken Roger Miller because I don't think they call him that in the movie. They might not have ever actually said his name.
No, he has a name. The Oodalali and Whistle Stop.
It's Chicken Talk here
Not in
on
Nottingham.
100.7 The Score with Chris Snead.
Alan-a-Dale?
Talonadale?
Alan-a-Dale.
It should have been Talonadale, though.
Okay, Alan-a-Dale. There we go. Yeah, who doesn't love some chicken talk? We will talk some football. I sidetracked us big time. We could talk WNBA if you want. Seems like your thing. Which interests you more, WNBA expansion or Amish pickleball?
Amish pickleball?
Amish pickleball.
You know,
It's incredible.
Apparently, this is a
it's, I mean, you got
craze in Amish land.
guys wearing those little flat hats, those flat bolero hats. Are they gonna? Is like a barn raising after the game, after the
It's
match?
in the barn.
In the
That's
barn.
where this is.
So
Like,
there's a
it's-
barn raising,
They
and then they
set
put
up
the.
like a pickleball court in the barn. I don't know the video that Clint sent
Do
me.
they balsa wood their own pickleball rackets? They make their own.
No. Actually, I don't know. So I actually, when I was down by the coast this weekend, and right by the place we're staying, there was tennis/pickleball courts, like 5 or 6 of them, right there. I mean, we could look off the balcony and see the pickleball courts. We're walking back from the beach one day, and it's 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Sun's down, and I kid you not, there is a guy that had to be 85 years old with his wife that had to be about 85 years old out there playing pickleball. I started to take a picture, but I didn't want to look like a creep, just to send it to Jamie. And
That's 85 years young to you, pal.
Jamie believes that everybody is these two people when they play pickleball.
I mean, the problem I have with pickleball is that it went from this really fun sport that you could play over 40 and stay in shape to this uber competitive thing that's on ESPN, and all the fun's been taken out of it because you go up to your local chicken and pickle, and it's just a bunch of competition between, super, I don't want to say the word on there.
Well, then use a simile. Not simile.
Synonym.
They
usually drive those asymmetric electric trucks.
Asymmetric electric trucks. Okay. Wait, why are they asymmetric?
Well, they're not symmetrical.
Well, they are if you look at them straight down the middle from the front.
I'm looking at the side of those things. They look.
Okay. Is any vehicle symmetrical when you look at it from the side? I don't think you have a rear bumper and a front bumper on every truck, so I don't think that anything's symmetrical.
I mean, you're right.
Okay.
But you know what I mean.
not-
You knew exactly what I was talking about when I said it, didn't you?
I got what. I know what you're talking about. All right, y'all keep the commentary rolling in. The Yates Flooring Center chat line. It'll probably only get weirder from here. We got headlines for you, including
This chicken dance.
another preseason list for Texas Tech football. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a Monday. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Chois Woodman, Chris Snead here in the First United Bank studio. Y'all continue to pour in your thoughts, comments, questions, topics you want to get into. We'll take anything on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Old Razzle Dazzle asks, how was Red River Sneeder? Did you dabble in the bull in the woods?
You know what? The day we got there, they had chicken fried steak night and sirloin steak night. They also have karaoke that night.
Uh-oh.
We didn't go.
There you go.
But I went up there, and my plan was to do a whole lot of nothing and not start that till about 11:30 each day. And, I had a fun time.
Snead, been waiting for you to get back just to ask you your thoughts on the first inning ejection at the College World Series. That feels like forever ago.
Oh, boy.
I was so happy you weren't here the day after that, so we didn't have to get into it. And someone has been harboring it, so...
Let me say how I can say this without getting fired.
From the station or from your umpiring gigs?
From my officiating gig. The
well, the guy that tossed him was has been here in Lubbock, Texas. I think he was here for one of the series.
He was here. He was here at the end of the year. He was here for the Arizona series.
He's a Big 12 ump.
Yeah, he's a Big 12 dude. The question I've been asked a ton of times is, and I think I even said this to you. I know it said to Collier and Rob Rowe when they were talking about it. It's like this. Everyone says it's the first inning of the College World Series. You should have some leeway. To which I asked the question, okay, that's fine. Which other rule should I ignore in the College World Series because it's the first inning? So it's still a rule that you can't come out and argue balls and strikes. And the coach even admitted, he said, you missed 3 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
And my problem is this. The guy who has the worst look of that was the only guy sitting next to him in the dugout, the first base coach, that of where those are. And you can't come out, and he knew that. He's defending his guy, but you can't come out and argue balls and strikes. It is. And then the whole thing about a grown man shouldn't shoo me off. He's not shooing you off. He's trying to keep you in the game. And I don't think that the umpire ejected him. I think the coach from Coastal Carolina ejected himself. And that is people don't like it, it's the ump show. And it's not the ump show. The ump was trying to do him a huge favor by telling him to stay in the dugout. And he kept coming. And now, did he have to make a big scene about throwing him? Probably not. But I've never been a big fan of the big heave-ho. Mm-hmm. I am more of and I've only thrown one guy out in my career. It was Bill Gilbreth from Abilene Christian in 1995.
Okay.
And when I threw him the same way I would throw a coach today. I just turned around and I just went like this. That's all. I just turned like that.
Are you the basketball referee?
Basketball's a different story.
The little T.
Hey, I'm a little T.
You're a little T
I'm
guy.
A little T guy.
I'm a big fan of the little T.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep.
Because here's the thing: you try not to make those emotional calls, and a technical foul can get. And because here's the thing: when I get you see me get worked up. If I get worked up, that's going to come from here. That's going to be a wham. It's going to be in your face. So I try very hard to make that a very unemotional call with a very small T and a point to you. But you can tell if you ever see me out and you see me with somebody where I whack somebody, boom, like that. And
really hope you do whack somebody sometime.
No, I've only given 2 T's to a coach. I'm just not one of those guys that's going to let you get to that point. But to answer the texter's question, I thought the coach was the most in the wrong there. Whether he missed 3 pitches or not, you can't argue balls and strikes. And it was evident he was coming out there to show up the umpire, and he did. And Jeff McGuire says it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and that was definitely I guess he thought, and he needed to come back and say this is the national championship game or whatever. Well, then I would ask you, which other rule should I ignore today? Because it's the national championship game. Because that's a rule.
Okay. Let's see. Old Razzle Dazzle says the chicken from the Family Guy that Peter always finds. Okay, for his favorite chicken. Will Joey be wearing Chuck's jacket at media days?
I think he's the red. That red.
He's usually going red at media days.
That's the media day jacket.
I'm a fan.
I would love it if he. There's those Texas Tech pattern jackets you can find.
Oh yeah. Oh, the ones you get at Walmart?
Yeah. Rock one of those, dude.
Offensive line is judged on the success of the quarterback, and Tech has not had good quarterback play for quite a few years now. They have been a good run offensive line. You know, that's from Resident Aggie. I don't fully agree with that.
Fair and unfair statement at the same time.
Yeah,
I think there's aspects that are fair and aspects that are unfair.
If you have a good offense, it's a mutually beneficial machine, and I think. Yes, you can judge offensive line on play of a quarterback, but you can also have good quarterback play because of a good offensive line.
Well, here's the thing.
And I don't think you were that great of a run offensive line last year. The number of times you wanted to go get 2 or 3 yards and could not because your offensive line got manhandled.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
That happened too many times. Taj Brooks, I'm not saying they were a bad offensive line, but Taj Brooks made your offensive line or bailed your offensive line out several times over the last
initial contact
in
the backfield and turning a 1 yard loss into a 2 yard gain.
Several times over the last 2 or 3 years.
Here's the other thing from a passing style, a quarterback with a quick release and a quick read and release, ball out of his hands in less than a second or two. Those are the guys that can make an offensive line, because not every offensive line under Leach was just spectacular. We had a lot of individual guys that were good, and some of those, the best ones, were really, really good. So I'm not saying that those weren't good. But we also had guys that were good at getting the ball out fast, which was a staple of the Leach offense.
Yeah. I think what you've done as a unit, this goes offensive and defense, you've tried to stockpile as many good players as possible. And if you look at the elite teams in the country, they're loaded down with good rosters, and everybody makes everybody better. I mean, that's the idea of football is the ultimate team sport. You got 22 guys out there, and then some special teamers. So
yeah,
you can say 26 guys out there, and if you've got one part of the machine that's not working, it can make everybody look bad. It's as simple as that.
It really is.
So if you've got a running back that makes the wrong cut, he's going to make you look bad. The offensive line could have done their job right, but if he hits the wrong hole, then
he can
you're
run
getting
himself
1
right
yard,
back into a tackle.
You might get 1 yard versus 10 on a play.
Yeah.
And it's such a unit sport that when you go and stockpile a bunch of players the way Texas Tech has, which, by the way, the video game had more ratings, has Texas Tech as the 13th best team in the country on ratings and the 9th best defense out of any team out there. That's weird to say in Lubbock, Texas.
We're in a different era.
This is weird, yeah.
And it's interesting. We always kind of get excited when they kind of recognize us, nationally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all laid out for you, Texas Tech. If you take advantage of the things that are there for you, you're going to be talked about in the national media in ways you hadn't been talked about since the 2008 year. And really, you didn't get much love in the 2008 year until the second half of that year.
Yeah. I mean, you got a little bit preseason, but it wasn't.
You weren't getting hyped. You were
wasn't top 10 stuff.
Yeah, you're going to start off in that conversation this year.
Yeah, I think you legitimately could be a top 20, top maybe even 15 team to start the season. It is the bottom line. We'll return to a few more of your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line coming up on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging on a Monday. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app, powered by Happy State Bank. Alongside Chris Snead, I'm Chois Woodman. Appreciate you hanging out with us on this June the 30th. Let's get back to a few more thoughts to wrap up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Brandon asks, you hit up TRs or the Mother Load?
No, the only places I've ever really hit in Red River is Bull of the Woods. I have been to Motherlode though.
Okay.
Yeah. Been to I think what was it called, Capo's, the Italian joint there too, which is really weird to go to that place to get pizza, which was really, really good. Really, really good.
I feel like, touristy is not the right word. Tourist spots in the mountains usually have one good pizza joint.
Well, I think this is an Italian family that moved to Red River.
Okay.
And I mean, someone could confirm that, but yeah, we didn't have a car this time, and we weren't going to be there long enough to rent one of the ATVs, the side by side. So we were limited to the trail system, not trail, the shuttle system, which was great. That guy, you call the red truck, and the red truck comes picks you up. And
Red truck.
Yeah, you been to Red River?
Yes, plenty of times. I've never stayed there though.
That is a really cool place. I mean, they're not paying anything, but there's a Red River RV park on the north side of town. It does a great job. Those guys.
We were there last year during Tech's bye week, and we didn't think about it, which was, it was a good thing. But they had their version of Oktoberfest going on.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was fun.
Heavy German population up there too.
German?
Yeah, their market, yeah, and which everyone calls their markup, because
nice.
I mean, we literally paid $8. It was
what?
$8 for some bratwurst, and the hot dogs were like $10.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Easy, Snead. You
were
went
like, the prices on these hot dogs are the worst.
Wow.
It was really good.
I
disappointed, but it was really good. Easy, Snead. You went with 12-0 last year.
I'm all in. Remember,
you went 11-1 last year.
I went 11-1, but if you recall, the statement last year was, I can make an argument to win every game. And I said, someone's going to come back and say, Snead said you're going to win 12-0. No,
so you're back at 11-1 this year?
I think this team's. You've heard the promo. I got everything in the middle right now.
So
I run everything to the middle.
We talked about this last week when you weren't here. Jamie Clinton and I talked. The thing that's the wild card, the unknown, and this goes with every season. Last year, all of that was based off of your your schedule. Pardon me, and thinking you had a fairly favorable schedule. It didn't turn out to be that way. It wasn't.
It really wasn't
the most difficult, but it was. I mean, you ended up having the Big 12 champion on your schedule. You ended up having not BYU, but you had some of the top teams. Colorado was way better than you thought they would be. So it ended up being
the runner-up as well. But I mean, Iowa State was the one that was
true
expected to do a little better.
Yeah, but a lot of what you didn't think would happen, it did flip over on OSU and some of the others too. Yeah. But
I remember, I thought OSU was the game we might lose.
Yes, you did. So,
all of a sudden
that's the part where we can sit here in June, July, all summer long and guess at things. We're not allowed to guess at things next week, though. No media poll. But
chickens.
How'd you feel about that?
Chickens. I think they were.
The coaches are the ones that made the decision.
Well, I think the coaches felt like Arizona State being picked last and then winning the conference hurt the conference as a whole.
I don't disagree with them.
I don't disagree with them either. However, just because everyone got lazy and went chalk, and that's the problem. That the drunken sports writers, they're going to get together in the media deal in Dallas next week, and you're not a drunken sports writer. You're just you're a halfway inebriated radio geek. So the drunken sports writers that actually control the media poll, those dudes go up there and they actually don't care. They're just going to pull the same 12 names out that they always pull out, that they do for their national media polls, and then they're going to go back to the strip club and do whatever they do.
Wow.
Did I just throw that out there for them?
I've never seen it. Yes, it does. It looks like an eyelash over his nipple. Gosh dang it. Snead, I've never I've voted on this, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 years. I've participated in the media poll. And what the problem with it, a big problem
different
with
type of poll than what was just being talked about.
Yes. The big problem with it is the variation of some years you'll have 80 people vote. Some years you'll have 200 people vote.
Exactly.
Sometimes you could have 30 from Phoenix and 2 from Manhattan or from Kansas City or 3 from Kansas City.
And how many from West Texas are voted?
I don't know. I mean, we probably have
10, 12?
7 or 8, 12 that
so
participate.
hey, in the year
it slants and it's not a true representation. So I understand that part of it, but the other problem with that media poll is that people don't project it. It is a lazy thing of, hey, if mine gets out there, I don't want people to make fun of me.
Exactly.
Every year I voted on it, it is hey, this is what I think will happen at the end of the season. Not who deserves to be in this spot or who deserves to be in this spot. This is where I think teams will finish at the end of the season. That's how I voted.
And that's the problem, because do they actually put what it is? Do you think that the team that you feel is the most deserving of this should be up here versus the team I think will finish in the first spot, second spot, third spot, fourth spot? And I think there's a lot of ambiguity to it. And these guys, they're like, oh, well, we'll put our deal in there. And they probably have this written out since, whenever.
Yeah.
Into spring practice.
I also understand why the league does it because, again, you put Arizona State 16th in your league, it goes back to the big polls. And then everybody's like, oh, well, this was picked as the last team in the Big 12, and they're off to a 3-0 start, but we can't give them any love in the AP poll because they're not actually any good.
They were picked 16th, and they're just terrible.
We're going to have to wait on it. So I get why the league's doing it. I get the purpose of it.
And the flip side of that is a team like Utah that was picked to win the conference gets off to a 1-2 start. They get a little bit more love. They're still getting votes from people.
But the Big Ten has already done this. I mean, they don't have a media poll.
Maybe we shouldn't have any media polls at all, and maybe we should just start the polling all together in October.
But the part that no one really talks about, basketball, they did away with the media poll a while ago.
Good.
They use a preseason coaches poll.
Good.
And if they want to use a coaches poll, have at it. I don't have some media ego where, the media's got to do it.
I think the media should be out of a lot of things like that.
The coaches can do their preseason poll, and that's fine.
Get the media out of Hall of Fame voting. Get the media out of polling for, because what do you think? We're the media. We know what we're doing. Except that you don't. You're really good at covering your little area, but you don't know a whole lot about anything else.
See, have a good rest of your day.
I'll see you tomorrow, man.
We will do it again tomorrow. Bottom line rolls on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107 The Score. Chois, Jamie Clint with you till 3 o'clock today. We'll continue to dive into a few more of your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Talk some more football, baseball coming up. But right now, we put on our blindfolds and try to stab the donkey in the butt. Jamie!
Yes.
It is Clint's turn to go first. I don't know why I yelled your name like that. No, he went first last time. So it's actually my turn to go first. Clint will go second, and you get to be the swing vote. Today, for the University of Cincinnati. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly or if it's Cincinnati University. But we start out with a Thursday night game against Nebraska. And I believe this is a neutral site game. Anybody confirm or deny that?
It is at Arrowhead Stadium.
Oh, yeah. Fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I would guess Travis Kelce's going to be in attendance for this one, but
and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he'll be actually
quarterbacking Nebraska. Yeah. It's
funny.
dressed like Patrick Mahomes night if you're the Nebraska quarterback.
Did he ever back off of that, or did he still lean into it?
No, he got
the
like
whole
his
year?
haircut with Patrick Mahomes' haircut.
Okay.
I think he's doubling down.
But Pat, you mean when Pat got his haircut in the offseason, chopped off the coif,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Riola did as well.
It's almost stalkerish at this point. All right. I will say that Nebraska wins this football game.
I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Okay.
Give me the Bearcats. I think they're going to be a little bit better this year.
I'm going to stick with Cincinnati as well.
Wow. Okay. I thought you guys were going to be on my side, but it's cool. Whatever. Bowling Green.
Did you just lick the pin?
I did. I'm having pen trouble already again, so I had to lick it. I think it's this piece of paper. I don't know if I'm just getting human oils all over it and it's not working.
Human oils, horse name.
Okay. Bowling Green. Do we have a theme for this game? Because it is a home game for the.
They don't list any themes.
It is pin night against Bowling Green.
It's not funny. I will take the Cincinnati's here.
Yeah, I will take them to have a strike against Bowling Green.
Me too.
Northwestern State is the third game. Man, they really have some cupcakes. I can't say anything after Texas Tech schedule.
I don't necessarily think Nebraska's a.
They're not. I'm just
cupcake.
saying the next two are.
Well, yeah.
Northwestern State is.
They're just playing theirs in an interesting order where they're not starting out with
True.
the.
I was going to say, as a
Pushover.
Texas Tech fan, it seems like you
That's
should
what I
be
said.
pretty tight-lipped.
Glass houses. I can't say
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. I'll take the Cincinnati's to win that one as well.
3-0 Bearcats.
Right there with you.
They started off really well last year too.
Mm-hmm.
Bye week on September 20th. Then they travel to Lawrence, where they lose.
Yeah, give me the Jayhawks.
I will take Cincinnati to lose.
Well done. Iowa State, a home game for Cincinnati, and a home loss for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll take the Cyclones.
Call it a losing streak.
Then UCF comes to town. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with UCF this year. I don't think they're the 16th team in the league like everybody's picking them, but I don't know how much above that they are. I will take, since it's at home, I'll give Cincinnati the edge here. Clint?
Classic American Conference showdown here goes to the Bearcats.
These two fan bases hate each other, right?
I think so.
there's a pseudo rivalry here.
I think this was like a growing rivalry towards their ending days in the same conference.
Maybe it's just
before this one.
Maybe they were the two big dogs in that conference.
I think they were.
I think
and
that's more
where
of what it was.
Where it started. Who you got?
Winner TV dinner for Cincinnati.
Okay, TV dinner. Could have gone like chili on spaghetti dinner.
I feel like there's been enough chicken talk today, so I just stayed
Fair
away
enough.
from that.
What?
Do you have a favorite chicken too that you want to get in there, Jamie? Or-
Chicken sandwich.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. At Oklahoma State. I'll say this is a loss for Cincinnati.
I'll take the Bearcats.
Oh, man. If that happens, this might... they won't fire Mike Gundy in season, but it might be the one that does him in.
I'm rolling with Clint.
I just don't think Cincinnati is a bad team.
Y'all are in on the Bearcats. So
They were one of those teams that were just like a couple different things go, or if a couple things go differently last year. You
You're
can even
right.
say the game here, it's a bowl team, maybe a 7-win team, and I really like their quarterback.
So through the first 6 games, we had Cincinnati 4-2, now 5-2, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was their record through 7 games last year. And then they lost 5 in a row to not make a bowl game,
It's impressive.
which wasn't great. Baylor at home. I have everybody's picks for this from last time.
You're correct, by the way. They were 5-2, and then
I thought so.
Went
They
0 for the
lost
rest of the way out.
5 in a row. That's a rough way to finish. I will stick with my pick from the last time and say Baylor wins this one.
yeah, I'll take the Bears.
You didn't do that last time.
Did I not?
No, you
No,
picked
I'll
Cincinnati.
take Cincinnati.
Okay.
No cats.
And at Utah.
Just Bears.
Just Bears. No
Let's
cats.
go, just Bears.
I didn't even, it didn't register,
That
but
was funny.
Bears and Bearcats. Okay. And then we have Arizona that's bear down, and they're the Wildcats, so it gets confusing. At Utah, I will take the Utes.
I will take the Utes as well.
I am with you.
You're with Utes?
Utes. I'm with you, Utes.
Move on to November 8th. It's a bye week. November 15th, home game against Arizona. I will stick with my previous pick and say the Bearcats beat Bear down.
I will pick with my previous pick, too. Cincinnati. I better have taken Cincinnati.
You did.
And as did I.
You did as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, we picked Arizona 3-9 as a group last. BYU up next. You don't have to stick with your previous pick here because we may change these. It's a home game against BYU. And I do think I'm going to change my original pick. I did pick BYU. Originally, I will take Cincinnati against BYU in this one.
Bearcats.
I'm hiking the Y.
Okay.
Stick with BYU.
Sticking with BYU. At TCU to close the season. Loss. I like Frogs. I will be rooting for Cincinnati, but...
Yeah, I'll take TCU at home.
As will I.
All right. So we've got 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5 season for Cincinnati.
Yeah, but without going through the schedule, if you had said, asked us, I would have said 6-6, 7-5. So that
7-5 and a 4-5 Big 12 record. I was a little lower on the Bearcats than you guys were, but it's quite all right. I think I had them 5-7. Repeat of last year. Jamie chose the Bearcats to have 6 losses. You had them 6-6. And Clint was 7-5.
I'm not feeling as good about that Baylor pick as I did when we were going through Baylor, but could happen.
I'll root for it. I got nothing. I got no Cincinnati hate at this point. Have you?
They have like the most vanilla coach, so it's hard to hate them. They have a fairly non-existent fan base.
You have not made that road trip yet, right?
To Cincinnati, correct? No.
Probably on the schedule for next year. We don't know.
I would guess so.
But will you try the Skyline chili? Because I think that's turned people off of
I
Cincinnati.
don't like chili.
Oh, well, it's on spaghetti, so it's basically
Yeah,
spaghetti. No. It's the bottom line. 100.7 the score. Question of the day next. I had to lick it.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 the score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a Monday. It's the bottom line on 100.7 the score. 100.7 the score mobile app. Breaking news! Texas State officially headed to the Pac-12. This is some news we were expecting, but the move has been approved today, like moments ago, and gives the Pac-12 8 football programs, which was the threshold it needed to stay at the FBS level.
Okay. Makes sense.
So the conference has 8 football programs now. Every single one of them is a state, like a state school, except for who is the one that threw it off? Gonzaga. So it has 9 total programs. So every one of the
St. Mary's made their way over there too.
If they did, I missed it, but
I
it's
don't
possible.
think so.
I think I might have just messed it up.
Can they have a basketball conference championship without Gonzaga and St. Mary's together?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of weird. All right, let's get to
It does kind of feel like, you know how like there's like one active blockbuster? It's like, yeah, it's still alive, technically.
Yeah. Except that one's an Airbnb, right? You can go stay there?
I don't know.
I think
Sure.
it is. Let's go.
Pac-12 might as well be an Airbnb.
Fair.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, I'm hoping you guys didn't hear my question this morning because I want to hear your answers on the question that I used this morning. It's a very simple question. Here it is.
Vis-a-vis.
Who do you expect to finish higher in the Big 12 standings this upcoming season? Texas Tech football or Texas Tech men's basketball?
I did hear your question. Does that nullify my answer? Because I really liked your question, and I had trouble then and still have trouble fully going in on an answer. My initial answer is where I'm settling. My initial thought on it was football, because I think your league is not as tough in football. I think both teams are in the same-ish area in terms of how I would project them. I think Texas Tech football I would put as a top 15 team, and I would put basketball as a top 10 team nationally. But I think you may have 4 top 10 teams in the Big 12 going into the season. And football, I mean, Tech is one of a couple of teams that'll be in that conversation. So I think you will finish 2 or 3 in football and could finish 3 or 4 in basketball. It's right there, but I think I lean towards football because it's not as tough of a league.
Yeah, this feels crazy to say in my mind. It's probably going to sound even crazier out of my mouth. I agree. Well, yeah, this part too. I agree with you, Chois. That's crazy.
It's nuts.
I think you have a better shot, slightly better shot to win the Big 12 championship in football, but I think you have a better chance to win a national championship in basketball. So
I think you're right.
You basically said exactly what I said this morning. I feel like nationally you'll be ranked higher in men's basketball.
Yeah.
I think your odds of winning it all are better in men's basketball. But I think because of the juggernaut that is Houston, that how good our basketball conference is, and how wide open this football conference feels to me, and how good this opportunity is for this football team right now with all the money and the effort that you've put into it, it feels like right now in this upcoming season you have a better chance to win the conference in football than in basketball, even though we have a better chance to win it all in basketball.
I think that the sport lends itself to being able to win it all, too. You never know what path you'll get to a Final Four. Mm-hmm. Football seems to be much more predictable. Like in football, in the college football playoff, with your 12-team current playoff, it wouldn't be shocking to see an upset, right? If Arizona State would have beaten Texas last year, going at it would have been a pretty big surprise to most.
They nearly did.
Right. But it wouldn't have been, oh my gosh, this whole thing's turned on its head. Because likely Arizona State would have lost the next game to, was it Ohio State? I can't remember who beat Texas out. Penn State? One of the teams. I can't even remember the next game. The Arizona State-Texas one was memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to bother me.
Was it Ohio State?
I think it was Ohio State.
Yes, yeah. Because you had that. You had the pick six late in that game.
Yeah, but
and then they zoomed in on a very defeated Quinn Ewers, and I laughed.
Singular upsets. Yes, I forgot about that. And Quinn was like dabbing his buddy up too, like that. Anyway,
yeah, because like his the linebacker that picked it off,
yeah.
right? That was his former roommate.
How he's like laughing about it, like the biggest game. Anyway, yeah, I think Jamie, in football you can have singular upsets, and it's not the craziest thing ever, but it doesn't seem like you get a whole gob of upsets like you can in the NCAA tournament, or that can change an entire path.
Sure, absolutely.
So
it's harder to upset, it feels like, in football than it is.
Yeah, especially in the postseason like that. I don't. So even if Texas Tech ended up as an 8 seed in the college football playoff, dream big. You end up as an 8 seed and you get to host. Be amazing. Even if you got there, and Texas Tech basketball finishes as what, a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, which would mean you're right in that same range, 8 to 12 or 9 to 12 nationally. It would still feel like you have a better chance nationally to get to a national championship in basketball than football as an 8 seed.
Well, and that's not even putting, I mean, let's say, you finish second, you make it to Arlington, and you lose. Chances are you're not making the playoff if it plays out how it has with the Big 12's level of disrespect.
Sure.
And you could easily finish 4th in basketball and have a great seed in the tournament.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And be like a 2 or 3.
That being said, if Texas Tech finished second in basketball, wouldn't be a surprise at all. As a matter of fact, I would guess you're picked second or third in the preseason poll if they allow that sort of thing.
I think you'll finish. I think you'll be.
I expect
picked,
coaches do the polls, so I think they'll still do that.
I think you'll be picked third. I think it's going to be Houston, BYU. I'm not saying it should be this way. This is what I'm projecting for the coaches, and then you'll be picked third.
Yeah.
It's possible you could just win both.
I'm great with that option, actually.
Then none of us will be right.
If we're getting to pick, then that's my pick. Would you I don't know. Would you take a Big 12 championship in basketball?
Yes.
Even if it meant a Sweet 16 exit? So you get to the second weekend but lose in the first game. If you knew that was coming, you'd take the Big 12 championship?
It's hard for me to answer that now because I want to see what our team looks like. Do I look at our team and say this team can win a national championship? If I truly believe that, then I wouldn't take it. But like right now, I kind of feel like if you're gonna tell me we're gonna lose in the Elite Eight, I'll take it.
Yeah, Big 12.
But if you're telling me we're gonna get to the Final Four because I think it matters to get to the Final Four,
if you're the
exposure that comes with that, I'd rather go to the Final Four.
Agreed. I completely agree on that. The Big 12 championship, if you're the Big 12 champion, you absolutely have a shot at winning it all. I mean, it's how it is. It's not necessarily the case in football.
What we did decide this morning was that the correct answer is softball.
Softball. That's the one that's going to finish the highest.
That's the correct answer.
In both.
Yeah.
Nationally and in the Big 12. Man.
Then comes track. And then
Probably
women's
got a pretty
track.
Good shot. Yeah. Just keep stacking them up.
And indoor women's track and indoor men's track.
Yes.
Okay, so
All of the
football
above.
and basketball are 5th and 6th.
Where are we at in soccer? We're supposed to have a pretty good team coming back this year, too.
Yep.
So, yeah. I love the question. That's a good question, and
It's awesome that we can actually have this conversation and not be crazy.
You guys didn't even get to meet judging on that list. I mean, that's to the top.
hey.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.